What up, Panther Nation? What up? What up? Welcome back to the channel. What is good, Panther Nation? Welcome back to yet another edition of the Rob Star Report. Your host, as always, Clay Rob. Appreciate y'all. A lot of people, it's funny as of late. A lot of people have been giving me a lot of shit because of what I've said in the most recent episode, what I most recently said on Tuesday on my live stream, and then what I most recently said on my live stream at the NFC South Roundtable. Call me a fair weather fan if you want to, but the facts are facts, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the thing is we're going to be talking about what I wasn't able to finish talking about due to dad duties came about, right? All right, y'all, if y'all saw the live stream on Tuesday, yesterday, dad duties came about in the live stream, right? My daughter was taking a nap. She woke up. She wanted dad time. Okay. Everybody wanted dad time. She wanted dad time. So I had to end. All right. I had to end. So it is what it is. All right. But here's the thing, man. Can they bounce back? That's what we're going to talk about. It's really about three guys. I mean, it's a team as a whole. It's a team whole effort, but it's about, it's about these few things. It's like, can Bryce Young bounce back? Right? Can he bounce back? Or is the writing just already written on the wall? Right? Can Dave Canales bounce back? Or is he just in over his head? Here's the thing. Can Ejiro Evero save his job? Can he save his job? That's the question. That is the question, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to dive into all those things tonight. And I'm going to be breaking it down for you. I appreciate everyone joining the live stream tonight. Do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, make sure you click that post notifications bell. If you haven't missed out, so you don't miss out any new content, let's get into the chat here real quick. Lomax, what's good, my guy? What is good? King Jermaine, JP, what is good, my guy? Welcome in. Glad to see you here. It's been a while since I've seen you in the chat. All right. Hayden comes in and says, yo, Clay, can everyone real quick say a prayer for Charlie Kirk's family? They really need it right now. I've already said my prayers and thoughts out to his family. I don't really get into politics on this show, but I am all about God and Jesus. I'm very close. My religion belief has grown as I've gotten older in that realm. All right. So yes, absolutely. So I would say the world needs Jesus right now if I'm going to be completely transparent. So, and it's not just Charlie Kirk's family. I think it's all over the world. So, yeah. So, hey, and I appreciate that comment though. Let's appreciate that comment. The local kid, I believe they can bounce back if they get mad at hit some fuckers and play like they want it. Losing is his annoying at some point, to be honest. Yeah, it gets annoying. Yep. We will bounce back this week. 17-14 Panthers. Yeah, we're gonna break that down. Don't worry, my preview and prediction will be live tomorrow night. So make sure you tune into that. Either tomorrow night or Friday. I haven't decided yet. It's either going to be tomorrow night or Friday. Flame for Jesus coming in with that $5 donation. Appreciate Flame for Jesus. Absolutely blessing the channel every single time he's on here. And just 5 of you guys just got free memberships to the Rob Star Report. So shout out to Flame for Jesus on that. Shout out Flame for Jesus, man. Appreciate you coming through as always, man. As always. Earl Locklear, what's good? You didn't miss anything yet. JP comes in and says, I think Evero's ready to go now. I feel you. The local kid, what's good? Supernova, what's good? Trap Trap X, what's good? Feed me NC. I think we can bounce back if we don't take a step forward Sunday, then maybe not. Appreciate you coming through. RIP Charlie. Yep, Earl. Keep pounding, Panthers Nation. Nice, Hayden. Harley Barker comes in and says, "Can you do the video on Friday?" For Harley, for you, possibly. All right, for you, possibly. Send me a. I'm just kidding. You don't have to send me anything. We'll see. It just depends on how my schedule goes this week, guys. It's either going to be tomorrow or it's going to be Friday. All right. What's up, Anthony? What's up, SC Panthers boy? And Eric, as always, coming through, man. All right. Let's talk. You know what, chat? I'm gonna leave it up to you. Who do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about Ejiro Evero first? You want to talk about Dave Canales first? You want to talk about Bryce Young first? Which one do you want to go talk about? Which one do you want to talk about? That's the thing. We'll talk. I mean, Austin Corbett, that's easy, man. Austin Corbett's an easy one. It's called bench Austin Corbett for Cade Mays. There's your simple answer on that. I can tell you that right now. That is your simple answer to that question. Like, I'm dead serious. I have nothing else to add to that. Okay. I have nothing else to add to that. You know, especially with him. I have nothing else to add to Austin Corbett except I told you guys this offseason that K Mays needed to start. And it was simple as that. Okay. Batman says our quarterback. You're correct, Clay. You are correct. I was correct. I've been correct. To be honest with you, I've been correct. I've been saying that this since the beginning of the preseason. Shout out, hey, by the way, shout out to Dunk. I was watching one of Dunk on Demand's live streams, and he was like, yeah, he was wearing this exact shirt. He goes, I got an Aeropostale for $20. I just got this shirt from Aeropostale for $20. It's a sick shirt, by the way. It's a sick shirt. All right. Playing for Jesus comes in and says, can we just fire everyone? Start with Dan Morgan. He has had 3 regimes to help fix this, including his own. Talking center position, defense. Where do we get started? You're correct. Guys, if you're feeling generous, that's the best way you can donate to the channel. Let me pull this up. I'm going to pin that. Our quarterback. Do you think Bryce Young is our guy, or do you think he'll be cut after this season? Should have been drafted another center already anyhow. All right. Let's dive into Bryce Young first. Let's actually, no, let's go into Dave Canales first. I want to go into Dave Canales because there's a certain reason I want to go to Dave Canales. Okay. And I'm going to share my screen real quick. Let's start with Dave Canales first. I'm going to share my screen. Give me a second here. Okay. Y'all should be able to see that pretty good. Okay. I don't need to see that. Okay. Oh, whoa. There we go. This is offensive ranking by play calls. This is offensive ranking by play calls. All right, hold on. Why is this? There we go. Through week 1. Offensive ranking through week 1 by play calls. Okay? That's what this is. Look at Dave Canales. He is 4th to last. That is just wild. Here's the thing. Dave, let's just call it what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Canales had a bad day. His play calling was inconsistent. It was veering between, I would say, overly conservative. I would also say it was flat out reckless. He ran timid. He dinked and dunked offense in the second quarter, then called a shotgun draw 3rd and 1 at the 5-yard line. A play that's so predictable, it should be retired forever. When that type of plays failed that bad and he doubled down with an empty set on 4th and 1, leaving Bryce Young stranded without, I mean, he had one option, and that was Jadavion Sanders. He may have been able to thread the needle to Xavier Legette, but according to reports too, that was also bad communication on T-Mac and Xavier Legette. According to reports, they were saying that T-Mac and Excel ran the wrong routes on the play. So whether that's a coaching issue, whether that's a player issue, like situational awareness is questionable at best, right? What we saw, right? He passed on a chip shot field goal, right? That would have built some momentum. They punted in a similar situation later, and he's acting like he's coaching a roster ready to win a division. And when it really mattered, he's leading a team full of holes that definitely needs every ounce of discipline and execution to compete. The problem is the way that Dave Canales coaches. He's a players guy. He's all about the players. He's all about the fundamentals of football, getting to the ball. It's all about the ball. It's all about, and again, I know that I sound like a broken record, but this is the honest to God truth. Even because here's the thing, even worse, Canales even admitted post game that he asked, not told, didn't tell him. He asked Ejiro Evero to play the young guys more. Didn't tell him, he asked. Dave Canales, you are the head coach. The last time I checked. You're the head honcho. The last time I checked. You're the one who makes the play calls, who gets to choose who's on the field, who gets to choose, who makes the decisions from every aspect. That's what a head coach does from every aspect, from the offense all the way down to the defense, to special teams. Newsflash, again, you're the head coach. You don't need to ask. You tell your defensive coordinator what to do. And to me, that moment to me reveals exactly how unpolished Dave Canales still is as a leader. That's the biggest issue I have, ladies and gentlemen. That is the issue I have. Let's call it, because let's call it what it is. He has no balls. He's soft. The NFL has turned soft, ladies and gentlemen. It has. We know that the NFL has started to turn soft. We've seen it time and time again. We've seen it time and time again with him. It makes it like, and that's the thing. That's the thing. Now, the question is here, can he bounce back? Can he bounce back? He can. I mean, Dave Canales can most definitely bounce back. It's easy to bury Canales after a loss like that, which I've already buried him. I put Dave Canales the past Sunday. I did a live stream Tuesday twice. I buried Dave Canales 3 times since that loss. So I can't bury him anymore. But here's the thing. Dave Canales has had his moments where his energy, his offensive creativity has worked. Last year when he benched Bryce Young, he retooled around the offense. He coaxed strong play out of a broken roster. Players like him because of he is a player's guy. He's confident. He's not afraid to take chances. He's also still young in his coaching career. The jump from assistant to a play caller to a head coach in just a few years, that is massive, okay? Mistakes are always inevitable. Growing pains were baked into the question. The question is whether he learns fast enough to fix them before this locker room tunes him out. I think what it's going to take for Dave Canales to bounce back, it's what's going to take is, number one, you got to be smarter situationally. Your decision making in certain situations have to be better. If you're going to be aggressive, fine. If you're going to be conservative, fine. But you can't waffle between the two depending on the win, right? Canales has to establish a clear game management identity. Okay? And you got to stick with it. You can't second guess yourself. You can't be indecisive. You cannot go back off your word. You just need to, if that's what you feel in your gut, go with it. But don't, I'd rather see you lose because you're confident in that play or in these play or the play callings that you're going with than sit there and lose and you continue to second guess yourself, right? Here's the thing too. You, Dave Canales, have to start holding dudes accountable, man. You got to start holding not only just players, but that coaching staff. You don't ask Ejiro Evero to put the younger guys in. You tell him to put the younger guys in, right? Head coach, a defensive coordinator. Those are two different job title names. If it's like you go to work, right? Everybody in here works. Everybody in here has a job. At least I think so. Okay. At least I hope so. Or if you're retired or if you work for yourself, great. But here's the thing. You have a supervisor, right? So it's like, okay, in my field, I have a general manager, I have an ACM, and then there's me. I'm a PM. Okay. So I am the assistant, basically put it in terms, I'm the assistant offensive coordinator, or I'm the assistant defensive coordinator. Okay. My ACM above me is Ejiro Evero. My GM is Dave Canales. If my GM tells me to do something, but my DC tells me to do something, I'm not doing what my ACM tells me. I'm doing what my general manager tells me, my GM. So in this case, if the head coach is telling the DC to do something, you do it. Plain and simple. That's how it works in the real world. Your head coach is your GM. And even if you're the AC, even if you're below him, if you're below your GM, right? You get what I'm getting at, right? Like I'm below my GM. And there's one person. Okay, so it goes my GM, then there's one person above me. I listen to both of them, but in this case, if there's an assistant defensive coordinator, but the head coach tells me to do something, I listen to him over Ejiro Evero. So like Dave Canales has to grab his balls and say, Evero, put Lathan Ransom in over Nick Scott. Put Nick Squirtin in over DJ Wanham. That's what and Evero goes, yes. Or he does whatever. I don't know how they would go about that. But that's how it works. Because last time I checked, head coach is not in Ejiro Evero's title, nor is it in Brad Easy. So Canales can't just ask Ejiro Evero to put the young guys in. He tells. He doesn't ask Brad Easy to make adjustment. He tells him, you're the head coach. You're not a consultant. So if rookies like Nick Scorton, Princely Mamielin, Lathan Ransom need snaps, you have to make that call and not hope that your staff figures it out. You tell them to figure that out. That's how it works. Another thing you got to do, another thing that Dave Canales has to do is define an offensive identity. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Right now, our offense in that last game looks like a mashup of bad ideas. Like some half-hearted West Coast concepts. You see some of that. You got a few gadget plays in there, sure. And then you got a whole lot of nothing, to be honest with you. So Canales needs to lean into what Bryce does well. If you want to make this work and make this relationship work, you got to go do what – whether you like Bryce or not, whether you believe in Bryce or not, that's not the prerogative or what we're getting at here. Okay, we're getting sidetracked if we're talking about that. What we're talking about here is what Dave Canales needs to do if he wants to save his ass. Okay, and honestly, he needs to lean into what Bryce Young does well: quick throws, up tempo, moving pockets. Stop pretending this roster can execute a balanced offense like the 49ers, because it can't. And here's another thing. Why, Canales? Why you have Rico Dowdle? You have Chuba Hubbard. Where is this run game that you were talking about that we were going to be about? Where is that? You need to go back to that. Go back to that and then add the quick throws, add the tempo, move the pockets for Bryce. That's the thing. It makes no sense. And if you talk, and it's a reality check now, ladies and gentlemen, on this roster. This isn't a playoff team. This was supposed to be a team that makes progress, 8 to 9 wins. But now what we saw on Sunday, this made this team look like a team that might not even win 6 games. Canales has to coach like a builder, not a contender right now. That means live reps for your rookies, more live reps for your rookies, more patience with the mistakes, and build a long-term view here, right? Build a long-term view here that isn't tied to sneaking out of ugly field goal games. And you got to start owning this role, man. I feel like Dave Canales continues to do this thing where he's just he keeps like hiding behind staff loyalty or a positive attitude. He is in the big chair now, which means he has to make tough decisions. So benching veterans, who don't perform, and stop treating his job like it's still an audition, man. You're not auditioning anymore. You did that already. Now you got to go out there and prove that it wasn't a fluke of what you were doing in Seattle and what you were doing in Tampa, right? So can Dave Canales bounce back? He can. It won't happen if he keeps calling scared, punching on leadership, pretending that this roster is something it's not. He doesn't need to be perfect. Nobody is asking for perfect, but what does need is a backbone, an identity, guts to a coach like a head man instead of a coordinator still trying to impress people. He has to figure that out. He has to be the one to steady this ship. And if he doesn't, he's going to be fired by David Tepper. because he's already had conversations with David Tepper. And we know how Mr. Tepper is with that temper of his own. We all know that. We all know that. And I hate to be that guy, but it's the honest to God truth, man. It's the honest to God truth. And he doesn't breathe confidence into this team and into my eyes. Can they bounce back? Absolutely. Why is this showing this? Oh. I was fixing that fixing the live stream on X. My bad. I mean, this is just proof right here, though, ladies and gentlemen. When you're bottom tier, right there, bottom tier. I mean, Mike McDaniel's down there. I mean, that's another thing. Is it's like we look like we're just as bad as the Miami Dolphins are right now. Because we seem like we're in a similar situation, a quarterback and a head coach issue. I think Dave Canales can bounce back, but it's going to take him owning the role. He's going to have a reality check with this roster. He's going to need to define an offensive identity. He's going to have to start holding dudes accountable, coaching staff and players. And he's got to start playing smart situational football. He's got to if he wants to be aggressive, be aggressive. If you're going to be conservative, be conservative. But you can't be indecisive between the two. You just can't. You need to establish a clear game management identity and stick with it. Because that's where he gets in trouble. When he starts being indecisive. Bonnie, I don't disagree with you. I mean, he's got to hold himself accountable too. Don't disagree with you. Canales needs to bench Bryce before he becomes another Bryce head coaching firing. That's one record no one will take from Bryce, the most head coaches fired because of a quarterback. Shout out to Flame for Jesus with another $10 donation. Shout out to Appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, Flame for Jesus. Guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up button on your way in and on your way out. I appreciate everyone joining the live stream tonight. We got some more stuff to dive into, man. Got some more stuff to dive into, so don't go anywhere. All right. Let's talk about Ejiro Evero. Let's talk about Ejiro Evero. I'm going to bring this up again because I can't stop thinking about this post right here for Ejiro Evero. In 35 games at a DC, 23 and on 35 games as a DC. That's years of 23 through 25. Ejiro Evero's run defense has given up 120 rushing yards or more 26 times since he's been a defensive coordinator. So here's the thing. The question now becomes, can Ejiro Evero save his job with the Panthers? Because at this point, Ejiro Evero has become our defensive punchbag. Fair or not, fans and analysts are starting to wonder what exactly he brings to the table. Because this unit got bullied once again in week 1. You surrendered 200 yards to Jacksonville. You made Travis Etienne look like a generational talent once again. You generate no real pressure on Trevor Lawrence. I think we got 1 sack on Trevor Lawrence, showing the same lack of speed awareness that people were worried about all offseason. Again, these aren't just bad days every single time. We can't just say, well, they just had a bad day. It looked like a defense stuck in neutral, and we're just running on fumes and hoping our opponent makes some mistakes. And we played a mid. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody's talking about the Jaguars are back because they beat the Carolina Panthers. Man, Jaguars are mid. Their defense is mid. It's always been mid. And Trevor Lawrence is mid. He'll always be mid. He's good enough to be not good enough. That is what Trevor Lawrence is. I'll be whether and they beat, and I can't say much more than that. I mean, they beat us. They won. They played because they were more well prepared is what it was. And I put that on Dave Canales because that's another thing that goes back to Dave Canales is like I said, when y'all guys were saying, well, Clay, it's just preseason. Well, look who go look at that week 1 game again. Go look back at the week 1 game last year and tell me real reps don't matter during the preseason. Real reps matter. It's negligence. It's malpractice. If you think that playing your guys for 4 series is enough for that offense and that front defense to be prepared, there's a difference between being in shape and in football shape. There's a difference between being in football shape and then in-game ready shape. And we weren't in-game ready shape. We weren't in-game prepared systematically. We were not prepared. And that is on the coaching staff as well. I can't put it all on the players. Now this question isn't whether Evero's defense is good. It's not. The question is whether can he do enough to keep his job in the path forward. I don't see it. I think the writing's on the wall. But where this guy has just gone so wrong with Ejiro Evero. Hold on. I'm going to get to some comments here. Maybe if EE gets the flu this week, we might have a chance. Just kidding. Washed up players. They have to show up this week. Historically, they're 16-5 versus Arizona. So we'll see. Panthers Scout, you're right. If Evero isn't there, we may have a chance. Playing for Jesus is coming back with another $10. I watch a lot of tape on these players. They aren't much better than what we had last year. Once again, I said the run defense wouldn't be that good, and I was right too. Shout out to Flame for Jesus with another $10 donation.
Another one.
What's up, D Davis? Batman says, yeah. We always start off the regular season based on how we played the preseason, especially these last 3 years. Yep. And I've been saying it. Separately, they worked in the previous regime, but here it's scattered at best. If Bryce don't work out this year, go out and get John Mateer. Jesse, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, John Mateer is I think, if I'm not mistaken, John Mateer is a freshman. I don't think he's I don't think he is I don't think he's eligible to come out in this draft. Playing for Jesus, Clay, did they matter? Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson that had 0 reps during their preseason. They're also an elite quarterbacks. They're also elite talent. I'm talking about a team as a whole, playing for Jesus. I'm not just talking about Bryce Young. The reason why I said real reps matter is because we saw Bryce Young stumble out the gate, and he only played 1 preseason game last year. Same thing with this team. This team is young. If you go look at this team on average on offense, you take out David Moore, our average age is around like 23 years old, 24 years old. A lot of new faces. That's on the offense side of the ball. Same thing on the defense. You got some older guys, but I guarantee you take out all those older guys, it's still probably around 23, 24, 25. That's a young team. Real reps matter. Nobody can tell me that it doesn't. Real reps matter in the preseason. For elite talents like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, it does not matter. But that's also a coaching decision at the end of the day. Shout out to Flame for Jesus with another one. Sellers, what do you think? Jarius, I'm not going to dive into Lenore Sellers right now. This is his third year. Okay. Washington State. Okay. I thought he was like a freshman. So, all right. So, we'll see. He looks like the Heisman candidate right now. Too late for preseason. They need to turn around now. Yep. I know. I'm just again, this just what we saw in week one proves to my point as to why preseason reps and real reps matter, not just joint practice. And we like what we see. It's malpractice, it's negligence. I don't care what anybody says. Should the Panthers bench Bryce Young, play hooker? We'll dive more into that here shortly, Harley. Is Big Bobby going to be playing in a boot? I don't know. I hope not. Clay getting love bombed. I am getting love bombed by Playing for Jesus, and I appreciate it. There's the love bomb for you. I've heard so many outlets mentioning Canales being in over his head, judging off Bryce sideline fit. That may be the case. I mean, we'll dive more into Bryce Young, but I can tell you this right now. What you saw with Bryce Young on Sunday on the sidelines tells me a lot that I need to know. Taking his helmet off, slamming it, whatever Canales said to him, and he just turns away and then looks back at him like what WTF? Yeah, like body language says a lot, and I can tell you right now what they his confidence immediately just shits the bed, and that's another issue with Bryce. He can't let things like that. That's another thing. Like you can't let yourself get that way. You can't mentally, you cannot do that. And as soon as you get into the Bryce Young's head, it's game over. And he lacks confidence. And it's proven. It's the same thing what TJ said on the NFC South Roundtable last night. I totally agree. He has no confidence. And that's part of it's Bryce Young, but part of it is your head coach, who's supposed to be that QB whisperer. So, but I'll dive more into Bryce Young here shortly. But this is the thing that I want to talk about that went wrong with Ejiro Evero. Let's talk about the obvious that went wrong with Ejiro Evero. Is that really, to be honest with you guys, is this defensive roster really loaded with talent? Is this defensive roster really loaded with talent? We knew, did you guys truly believe that this defensive – I said that this defense – at best should be top 20. I said I would love to see it around the 17, 18 range. But with how the defensive roster is just isn't loaded with talent. I think we've got a lot of young talent, but we don't know that talent because guess what? It's not getting put on the field enough for us to judge if we have that talent because you have a stubborn defensive coordinator who refuses to adjust or try something different. Or you have a head coach that just asks his coordinators to do things instead of telling as well. So another perfect example of alluding to what I was saying earlier. All right. Hayden, you can ask your question. There's zero creativity in Ejiro Evero's pass rush. The Panthers pressured Trevor Lawrence less than any other defense in the NFL last week. There's a post all over the internet about it. So that's not just bad. Again, it's negligence. Rookies Nick Scorton and Princely Mamiello, both drafted to be these juicy pass rushers, played a combined 26 snaps. Meanwhile, journeyman DJ Wan and Pat Jones were out there forever doing little but eating up oxygen. That's all they were doing. At this point, if I'm Carolina with one of those two journeymen in DJ Wan or Pat Jones, I'm looking to make a trade, and I'm looking to take maybe some of those draft picks I have, and maybe even some of those draft picks I had from Adam Thielen. And I'm looking to go trade a middle linebacker because God forbid we need middle linebacker help. I'm serious. I would trade DJ Wanham right now and take that 4th round pick I got for Adam Thielen and that 5th round pick, and I go find me a middle linebacker that can come in here. T. Green, you are out of pocket. You are out of pocket, T. Green. Ha! Gay! You are out of pocket. Hell no! Just out of pocket, bro. Need linebackers, absolutely. Felt like we overpaid for journeyman. Yeah, we definitely did. Playing for Jesus with another $5 donation. He's trying to get his point across about preseason, I guess. He had a lot of snaps as a starter. Who had a lot of snaps as a starter? Clay Joe Burrow, who didn't have a good game week 1. Okay, so he just didn't have a good game. He still won the football game because the rest of the team was prepared. The defense stepped up in that game for the Cincinnati Bengals, believe it or not. Again, preparation matters. You can continue to say all these things. You're not changing my mind. Real reps matter in the offseason, not just in training camp and joint practice. It matters in preseason. I am standing 10 toes down on that, and no one can take it away from me because we've seen it time and time again, especially with this team that has stumbled out the gate week 1 last year. They stumbled out the gate week 1 this year. Again. You're not going to tell me otherwise. And you can't. I will stand 10 toes down on it, and I will not take my comment back. Clay, come on. That play would have at St. Peter pissed off. It's like Canales is calling shit plays on purpose, who runs 3 times, then goes 5 wide with 0 protection for any pressure 5 doo-doo calls. Hopefully the rookie edge gets in this weekend. Hopefully we'll see more of them. Is there any one of the defensive coaches that could take over EE? Yeah, absolutely. All right. Absolutely. AC Carter would be a great one. I would also say, I'm trying to think of who else. AC Carter would be a good one. Another one would be, Jonathan Cooley probably might be able to. Well, his play calling is terrible because Jonathan Cooley was getting some burn back there. I think Todd Wash could be a really good defensive coach, because I saw a post about him the other day. It was on X, and it was somebody that mentioned something about Todd Wash, like if he could become the defensive coordinator for the Panthers, and it was something along the lines that – I was trying to read something about Todd Wash. It was kind of interesting what he was able to bring to the table. Because I think he coached the Legion of Boom. It was something about he coached the Legion of Boom. He was the DC for the Jags 2017. So, and if you go look at the Jags 2017 season defensively, I think that's when they went to the AFC Championship, if I'm not mistaken. It's not about South Carolina, or it's not about the Carolina Panthers. Do you know of any real sellers that are selling South Carolina football tickets? I'm looking for someone that is selling tickets for the Oklahoma game in October. Hayden, I'll have to look around for you. I don't know at this time, but I might have an answer for you. I mean, we got time, so just give me some time, and I'll be on the lookout. I'll definitely let you know. All right. What else we got? We got any more comments in here? Darren Bates. He'll bring some. Just messing with you, Clay. You know I am. Bryce hasn't earned the right sit during preseason. He needs to be out there till they get it right. Absolutely. Thank you. All right. Appreciate you. Appreciate you getting on me there.
And his name is John C.
I wish I knew there was a way, like when people donate to the channel, so I don't have to click the sound. I wish it would just automatically do it. I hate to say it, but it's a good year to suck. Lenore Sellers should be our target. I'm done with all this calling Bryce. He can't lead us. Jeff R is done. He wants to go get my boy Lenore Sellers. I love it. Everyone needs to go simple. We will bounce back. PBXR Pete is coming in and saying we're gonna bounce back. But here's the thing. Let me get back to the whole Ejiro Evero too. Another thing where it's gone wrong as well is that he's stubborn with this veteran loyalty. We still don't understand this whole thing with him with Nick Scott. He's played every single snap at safety, while rookie Lathan Ransom, who actually flashed the preseason, got 9 snaps. Like, you got Scott, who's proceeded to miss tackles, who's blown assignments, who's jogged past blockers on J.C. Horn's interception, return like he was late for a dinner reservation. Like, it's the same old problems, and there's no new answers. You got slow linebackers. Yeah, we got slow linebackers, let's be honest. Our safeties are out of position constantly. Corners, they're doing their thing, but the problem is then they're left on the island because not everybody else is doing their job. So it just feels like you've been watching the same Panthers defense now for the 3 years, and it's because Evero isn't just losing games, ladies and gentlemen. Number one, it does have to do with lack of talent alone, right? But he's losing because he also refuses to maximize what he at least does have. And that's on him because he doesn't know how to do it. The only way that this man survives the season, and I'll give you a few things that he can do. He has to, like, if Evero wants to survive the season or even make it to midseason, he has to stop coaching like he's babysitting these veterans. And you got to start coaching like you're trying to build something. If I'm Ejiro Evero right now and I'm like, damn, I need to save my ass. Because I know there's no way he's not seeing what people are saying on Twitter. There's no way that he's not hearing some of the backlash, some way, shape, or form. But I'm gonna tell you this right now, Ejiro Evero, if you want to save your ass, you've got to play the damn rookies. That's number one. Nick Gordon, Princely Mamiela, and Lathan Ransom. Hell, even play Damani Richardson. Please get these guys on the field. They are raw. I get that, but they can bring the juice. They can bring the energy. They are the upside of what Carolina's potential future can be. The upside that Carolina's stopgap veterans simply don't have as well, which is that bring that juice, that raw talent, that energy, the upside, all of that. None of these veterans have that. You can't keep trotting out Nick Scott, DJ Wanham, and expect different results, man. You just can't. You can't. You've got to start another thing is you got to start manufacturing pressure. If the front four can't win blitzes, and if the blitzes don't get home, disguise it. Do something. Sit back in soft zones, right? For example, sit back in soft zones while Lawrence picks. Like, you can't be sitting back in soft zones and letting Trevor Lawrence pick you apart. That's coaching malpractice. You got to do something. If the blitz aren't getting home, disguise it. You can't be sitting back in these soft zones. That's what I was trying to get at. So don't sit in soft. Like, I'm not saying sit in soft zones. Don't sit in soft zones, because that's how Trevor Lawrence picked us apart, and it's coaching malpractice. So even bad defenses can generate some type of chaos with the right play design. Like, you're gonna have to adjust you need to adjust to opponent's strengths. What I mean by that is that the Jaguars ran at will because Evero's game plan didn't account for the balance. Too many defensive looks were soft, light boxes that dared Jacksonville to run, and they happily obliged. So that kind of arrogance doesn't work when your personnel isn't elite. You know, I hate to say this. Here's a word that I'm starting to get tired of, ladies and gentlemen, is the fundamentals of football. That's the thing I'm getting sick and tired of, is hearing the same thing about the it was the same thing. Like, we hear this word, fundamentals. Like, I still want to know what the fundamentals are to Dave Canales, right? I want to know what the fundamentals are today from Dave Canales. But I'm going to say, you have to emphasize the fundamentals. You missed tackles, slow pursuit, poor communication. These are basics, man. Like, if your defensive coordinator can't clean up his defensive fundamentals, then no scheme in the world can save you. Accountability has to become a mantra. Missed tackle, blown assignment, sit down. Sit down. But another thing Evero has to do is he's got to show me that he can grow. He's got to show me that, because the NFL is what have you done for me lately business. That is what type of business you are in. You are in a business of production, not for maybe next year. Maybe next year. Now, you are in the business of what have you done for me lately? So Evero can't rely on past hype or his Rams resume for him to prove he can adapt and innovate and elevate a thin roster. No, you have to prove you can adapt and innovate and elevate a thin roster, right? Not just say your resume shows that you can do that. You have to do that, because you look stale right now. And if you don't, you're going to be fired. And here's the thing that has to do. You have to change immediately, because that's the harsh reality of Ejiro Evero. This isn't going to be some magical turnaround when this defense turns top 10. That is not happening. He doesn't need to save his job. I told him if he even got this defense so top 20, he may have saved his job. You just need to make this defense respectable, functional. Most importantly, show progress. If this defense gets gashed for 200 yards a week in October, I'm telling you right now, Ejiro Evero will be gone by November. If he can lean into these young talent, manufacture some pressures, prove he can outsmart opponents once again with less, then he saves face. But if he keeps playing these veterans, he keeps these veterans who can't hack it, and calling defenses like it's preseason and it like it's. Like it's walkthroughs. Like it's not just going to, you're not just going to lose your job in Carolina. You're going to take your whole reputation around the league. The bottom line is Evero can save his job, but only if he swallows his pride. You have to embrace change. You got to stop coaching scared. Otherwise, you're just going to go down with a defense that has been doomed from the jump, and you'll have no one to blame but yourself. Tennis Ace 40 on RP. Where are you at, man? I'm not sure what you're saying there. Tennis Ace 40. Whole team slow. No head coach talk. That should be going on. Tepper's fired. Finger is itching bad, I bet. We got big guys that all slows. Fuck, that's right. I can see us back to normal this week. I mean, T Green, you're throwing mixed signals at me here. I guess the 13-4 guys got out of Dodge. Yeah, I mean, I was never a 13-4 guy, so I can tell you that. It was not me. Not me. Just gonna say that. Wasn't me. Wasn't I. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you pound that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'm going to share this article with you guys real quick. Let's talk about it because this is where we're going to talk about Bryce Young. So let's go through some stats real quick. Bryce Young, right here, says in the article, Bryce Young completed only 51% of his passes for 4.4 yards per YPA, so yards per attempt. Okay? The only quarterbacks who were worse were a rookie starting versus one of the best defenses in the NFL, and that was Cam Ward and Russell Wilson behind one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. If you remove the interceptions, Bryce Young ranked 28th in success, 32%, ranked 25 in EPA attempt, a negative 0.24. Now, it says here, if you just want to look at the simplest of passes, those thrown 5 yards or less, Young completed just 56% of the attempts, 29th, that would rank him 29th in week 1, with a 13% success rate at number 29 as well, with a negative 0.54 EPA per attempt and a mere 2.8 yards per attempt. Okay? Now, this was despite playing most of the game in garbage time, blah, 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 blah. Now, the Jaguars defense, as they said from this equation here, says that the Jaguars defense kept things very vanilla for Bryce Young. They didn't blitz near 80% of dropbacks, played no blitz zone on 72%, and the number 4th highest rate quarterback faced. So Young wasn't even pressured often, taking pressure on just 28% of his dropbacks. That's how soft the Jaguars played, according to this. Keep in mind the Jaguars' pass defense was ranked 29th in the NFL last year. If we try to throw garbage time entirely, I look at a quarterback's performance in the first half and when not pressured. Out of 30 of qualifying quarterbacks in week 1, Young ranked dead last in EPA, negative 0.6. Dead last in success rate, 20%. Dead last in yards attempt. I think that's what that means. Yards / A, I think that means attempt. 3.6. And a dead last passer rating at a 27.5. So if you are averaging 3.6 yard attempt on unpressured dropbacks in the first half of the game, think back to the halftime deficiency. So it's saying the Panthers led it. I'm reminded of this, that the Panthers led at halftime in 3 of Young's 12 starts last year. They are now 0 for 1 this year. And his 29 career starts, the Panthers have led at halftime 5 of the 29. 17%. Since 2000, there have been 37 quarterbacks to start at least 25 games in their first 2 years in the NFL. So, since 2000, from this article, they're saying there have been 37 quarterbacks to start at least 25 games in their first 2 years in the NFL. Bryce Young is the only quarterback to lead at halftime fewer than 6 of his starts. Bryce Young is the only quarterback to lead at halftime in fewer than 20% of his starts. I just wanted to put those stats out there. The question is, can this kid bounce back? Can he bounce back, or is it written on the wall? Because at this point right now, here's the harsh reality of Bryce Young. He lacks confidence, ladies and gentlemen. That is the reality here. And then I'm just being straight up honest, and I'm taking a page out of TJ's book from last night's show on the NFC South Roundtable, brought to you by Roundtable Sports. And I agree with TJ. Bryce Young has all the talent in the world. Bryce Young just doesn't have the confidence in the world. That's the issue. Bryce Young looks mid. Bryce Young looks average. He looks good enough to be not good enough. But the problem is he lacks, it's not the talent. I think it's more or less that he lacks the confidence. And Bryce Young was flat out awful in that opener. And again, like I said, he only completed just over half of his passes. He coughed up 3 turnovers. By the way, he missed 3 touchdown opportunities. He had 3 interceptions. 1 got called back because of a penalty. So he got saved by the bell of that one. And then he also had a fumble, which was dumb by him to fall forward instead of sliding like smart quarterbacks do. So you technically would have had 4 turnovers. But you somehow managed to look rattled against a defense. That's the thing that bothers me the most is you looked rattled against a mid-Jaguars defense who was ranked near to the bottom of the NFL last season, as this article even reads. Worse, he wasn't even pressured much. He wasn't even sacked 1 time, if I'm not mistaken. I don't even know if Bryce Young was sacked in this game. Let's go look if even Bryce was sacked 1 time in this game. He may have gotten sacked 1 time. He may have got sacked 1 time. Let's look. Okay, he got sacked once. Okay. Sacked 1 time. Again, here was the thing. He wasn't even pressured much. Jacksonville played soft, simple coverage, and he still couldn't consistently find his guys. This isn't an isolated incident, ladies and gentlemen. In 29 career starts, just like this article says, he has led at halftime 5 of them. So statistically, no other quarterback in the modern era with this much opportunity has had as much of a poor start of his career. And no one to this point has ever had that so much of a poor start that they've turned into a true franchise guy. That is cold, hard data. Can he still bounce back is the huge question. Can he bounce back is the huge question, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're here to talk about. Here's the other side of the coin. Yes, Bryce Young has shown flashes. Late last season, after a benching, he looked sharper, quicker, more decisive. He did. We're not going to take that away from him last year. I'm not going to take that away from him. Okay? He strung together solid games against weak defenses for a brief moment. Carolina, we actually looked like maybe we had something there. Like he's accurate when he's confident. See where I'm going with this? I told you, that's why I said he lacks confidence. You see it in his body language. Because as soon as things don't go Bryce Young's way, it is game over. You rattle Bryce Young, it's done. You saw it on the sideline. This kid is drowning in his own mental mistakes because he's not confident. And part of it is down Dave Canales, not getting him and giving him that confidence. The quarterback whisperer of a head coach that Dave Canales is supposed to be, it's not showing up. Right? He is too soft of a head coach. Dave Canales is too soft, and it's starting to show. But when Bryce Young is accurate, guess what? He's confident. When he's confident, he's accurate. He's mobile enough to buy time. He has the mental toughness to withstand the noise. He can take the hits too. And he did it in college as well. The problem is he's never had the right infrastructure around him. That was the whole narrative. He didn't have the right infrastructure. So we went out, we rebuilt the offensive line. We got him, a nice safety blanket in Adam Thielen. We went out and got Tedero McMillan now. We went out and got Xavier Legette. We got Jalen Coker. Went out and got Jimmy Horn Jr. Got Hunter Renfrow. But the offensive line last year was a top 10 unit in the lowest pressure rates. Again, we came in, but I just want to say this. Y'all can say what you want about Ike Ekwonu, but I sure as hell know we missed him this past weekend. But the wideouts outside of Tedero McMillan, it's not a separation issue for Xavier Legette. It's a sense of awareness issue. It's a sense of play calling issue with Xavier Legette. I think sometimes Xavier Legette's not sure what the play call is because he's definitely there's a lot of miscommunication there. That's also coaching, could be a coaching issue too. Hunter Renfrow, I didn't expect. Listen, I was high. I was high on Hunter Renfrow. I'll be honest with you. I thought he was going to come back at least to be somewhat of what we saw in Las Vegas. But I think we definitely saw of him more. I think there's something there. I just think it's going to take him more time because, again, when you're out for a year, it's going to take some time. All right. And maybe my expectations for him were too high. But I think the expectations I have for him can come over time if he stays healthy. Okay. But here's the thing. The thing is when these wide receivers do get separation, they don't consistently finish plays. We saw that against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's another thing. The run game is inconsistent. That's not due to the running backs. That's due to the fact that your head coach continues to not use them as heavy as he says he was going to. But yet you have 2,000-yard backs, and we're supposed to use these guys to take the pressure off your quarterback, which we're not doing, which doesn't inspire confidence in Bryce Young because he can't get into a rhythm because Dave Canales is too indecisive in his play calling. But we also have become but also Dave Canales in this last game was too vanilla and too predictable. But Bryce Young at the end of the day has to take accountability for his mistakes as well. We're back. We were back to sloppy footwork, throwing off platform. I mean, I don't know what else to say. What's up, Zach? Thank you for coming through. Thanks for coming through, man. Appreciate you. Glad to see you here. Tepper says Evero's punishing Tepper for blocking him from leaving after 1 year. It could be a good point, man. It could be a good point. I don't know, man. At this point, well, nothing would surprise me. Nothing would surprise me. Nothing would surprise me playing for Jesus at this point. I get that. Hey, you don't go wide receiver first rounds back to back in drafts because you want to run the ball. Just saying. I mean, I guess you could make the same point that you don't have 2,000 yard backs on your team if you're not going to run the ball, though. Not necessarily saying that you got to run every damn play, King Jermaine. But you don't have 2,000 yard backs on your team to not run the ball. Just saying. So what is it going to take for Bryce Young to bounce back, ladies and gentlemen? What's it going to take? I'll tell you. It's going to take smarter play calling from Dave Canales, number one. Canales has to stop calling scared, like I said. The endless short passes, these timid red zone decisions, the bizarre 3rd and 1 on shotgun draws aren't helping anyone. Young needs a playbook that maximizes quick releases, decision-making, not one that forces him into predictable low upside situations. Okay? Another thing is, I'll say a competent offensive line, but simply you were only missing Ike Ekwonu. And you were playing against a soft defense that was not giving him a lot of pressure. That's the thing. Like some people are saying, well, we got to have a competent offensive line, but our offensive line is not the issue anymore, ladies and gentlemen. You also need your wideouts to win. You don't need wideouts who can win. You need wideouts your wideouts to win. You know they can win. They need to show it. Like we know Tyrone McMillan looks the part. Xavier Legette and Hunter Renfrow haven't delivered enough. If guys can't separate, then Young's gonna be, again, we're gonna see the same thing. You're gonna be already limited with margins. And for error, and especially for limited margins for error, that shrinks even further. Either the young receivers step up, or Canales has to mix in more creative packages with tight ends and running backs, right? But here's another thing. Bryce Young, okay, less pressure, more patience. Musa, benching Bryce Young again would be the nail in the coffin. He can't ride the bench and then suddenly become the franchise quarterback. Can't do that again. He needs reps. Even if they're ugly, to grow into this role, he needs reps. Even if it's bad. Carolina we'll just have to live with the pain and hope that long term it pays off. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. All right, at this point. And Bryce Young has to own his part at the end of the day. The excuses stop here. Like great quarterbacks overcome chaos, man. The elites of elites overcome chaos. Look at Josh Allen, down 40-25, and comes back and wins that game. Great quarterbacks overcome chaos. Like Young has to clean up his decision making. You got to stop forcing throws. And if you're going to force a throw, please put some zip on it and not just do this little dink of a pass. Put some zip on it, man. Hit the easy stuff. Give what the defense gives you. Don't force a hero ball, man. If you can't get the basics down of a 3-step drop under center or a 1-step drop and throw on platform, nothing is ever going to matter. So can Bryce Young bounce back? Yes, he can. But I'm going to be brutally honest with you. The odds aren't great. The history of quarterbacks who start this poorly is brutal. And unless Bryce Young gets help from from both his coaches and teammates and God. I mean, and God himself I guess puts his hand on. I don't know. He's going to be risked being another name in that long list of Carolina quarterback failures, but it's also going to end up being might end up being one of the biggest butts in NFL history due to the fact of what Carolina gave up to get him. The thing is, he's still only 24. The tools made him a number one pick. Those tools are there. I believe that. What it will take is it doesn't need a perfect storm. We need better play calling. The protection still needs to be there, which we've seen. But him to be a quarterback that finally puts it all together instead of waiting for someone else to fix the mess. And I can tell you right now, all the things that I mentioned, if none of those things happen, Carolina will be you will be staring down that draft board in 2026. And you're going to be shopping for that franchise savior. You will be. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with everything at this point. Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button. All right, hit that thumbs up button. I would greatly appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button and make sure you click that post notifications bell so you don't miss any new content. I'm going to get to some of these comments here. I think I missed a few in here. Play with the pause. I had to pause and think sometimes, man. He will bounce back this week. True that. We better win this week. That's all I know. We should win. T Green throwing. I don't know if T Green's is trolling or if he's just, I don't know. You're all over the place for me, T Green. We need Coker and Jimmy Horn back. Bryce is done in Carolina. Just waiting on a trade. Bryce's new team is the Miami Dolphins. Sacked once. He would be a good fit there. Given up by you're to talk about that. He needs a better coaches. You can't be a soft-spoken man and be a badass on the field, right? Ben for Bryce to put in the work, no excuses. In 29 games, Bryce has thrown for under 200 yards, 20 of those 29 games. What more do y'all need to see? Back on the bench, and if he don't win this week, I don't know who he was whispering to. Must be whispering to Clay. Canales never claimed to be a quarterback whisperer, though. Others threw that label on him. Definitely missed him. Yep. What's up, Zach? I'm starting to think Canales is not the offensive genius he's taught to be. Who has been developed since Canales has been here? Name one. Wide receiver, tight end, and any defensive player. Nobody. Ginger made the fact that Dave thought his team was good enough to not have the starters in preseason it's more funny to me. Funny as hell. Yep. Like I said, exactly. Same predictable, same back-to-back runs down the middle each drive. Like you don't go wide receiver. Oh, yeah. So I missed some of those guys. I don't know what the hell Dave visioned for this team offensively. Yep. He says he wants one thing, but schemes are another. Bonnie with a $5 donation. I knew I was missing something there. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. I don't know why I hit you with the boom. Let's hit you with this. Shout out to Bonnie with that $5 dono. Appreciate you. I want to see him go deep for McMillan. I want to see that too. I wanted to see for Tampa Bay fans said goodbye with no problem to Canales. He's predictable on the run game. BY9 has tape out on him. Sophomore slump is here in year 3. I know, Clay. That's how I know that Canales doesn't want to run. He also drafted 2 receivers, tight ends since becoming a coach. Get you a quarterback that can run your offense, then Canales. That's the only thing I can say. It's going to take players to stop sugarcoating the issues and come on and say it. Honestly, it would. I'm trying to keep up with all your guys' stats here. Are your comments? I think I missed them. Please start Cade Mays. Yeah. Absolutely. Do you? All right. Here's a good question. Do you think it was also the rush snaps that were affecting some of his plays? Absolutely. I think a lot of it had to do with that. I mean, good Lord, how many botched snaps did we see Austin Corbett have? Like the communication on the line was horrendous. The communicate your center, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is the foundation of your offensive line. Your center is the quarterback of that offensive line. And when his snaps are off, it causes a trickle-down effect. I mean, he was snapping them high. He was snapping them off timing. Austin Corbett looked terrible. And it's time to put Cade Mays back in. You're talking about a guy that's had 3 major injuries, 2 ACLs and 1 in each knee. One of his knee was an ACL and an MCL. And then he tore his bicep last year. Like, rotational player at best. King JP, he just now told all of his competition he can't throw to the left. Yeah, Corbett had a PFF score 27. Don't forget about JJ's comeback. Yeah, can't forget about that. JJ McCarthy did his thing. Didn't look good in the first half, but boy, did he come back in the second half. I'm no troll. I'm a Panthers fan. Crazy how a rookie can play like JJ and Bryce still struggling. Hey, I hear you. I hear you, man. I hear you, Ken 88. I hear you. Bryce has averaged 171 yards passing through 29 games. Most of his 200-yard passing games came under Frank Wright. Explain that to me. There's a lot of things I can't explain, man. There's a lot of things I can't explain.
That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Hit you with that, playing for Jesus. Court pissed me off. I legit was cursing him out on TV. Hey man, hiking the ball is like hard as throwing like a dude. The Corbett situation is just so interesting, man. It's time to move on from him too. Bryce is a 4th-round pick. Lomax is saying Bryce is about as worth a 4th-round pick or was worth a 4th-round pick. So, y'all, hey, listen, shout out to the chat tonight. Y'all are awesome. Y'all been good. Definitely going to be doing my preview and prediction of the Cardinals game here live either tomorrow night or Friday. Make sure you guys tune into that. I'm also going to be getting out my NFL Week 2 picks. I'll also be doing the NFL Power Rankings. And, of course, we'll be breaking. But I'll be doing that on some shorts. I'm going to also be talking about the Heisman candidates. So that's another short that I've got coming out. So make sure you guys tune into the shorts, man. I'm going to be posting them up here shortly. Other than that, guys, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and click that post notification bell so you don't miss out on new content. If you want to become a member today of the Rockstar Report, I would greatly appreciate that. Other than that, guys, I'll either see you tomorrow or Friday night. Make sure you guys come through. And as always, y'all know what to do. I'm out of here. Keep pounding. Peace.